Hello student, I'm Sana Sheikh from Department of Computer Science, Abeda Inamda Senior College. Today we are going to see Chapter 2 from Cybersecurity, that is Overview of Information Security Concepts. These are the content from the chapter, that is basic concepts like attack and types of attack. Second topic is goals for security. Then next is e-commerce security, and the last topic is steganography. We'll see each topic in detail. Let us see what is information security. Information security is a set of practices designed to keep personal data secure from unauthorized access and alteration during storing or transmitting from one place to another. Students, we are in digital world today. That means we are transferring our data online, like for purchasing things or for doing online transactions. We are transmitting our essential information like your address, your card details online. So it is very important to keep your data secure. Information security is designed and implemented to protect the print, electronic and other private, sensitive and personal data from unauthorized person. It is used to protect data from being misused, disclosure, distraction, modification and disruption. So it is very important to keep your data secure from an unauthorized person's hand who can use your data, who can misuse your data, who can destroy your data or who can modify your data. So for that purpose we use information security. Now we have certain principles or goals for information security. So we have three main goals, that is confidentiality, availability and integrity. We'll see each one in detail. First is confidentiality. Name itself suggests that it is one of the basic elements of information security. Data is confidential when only authorized person access it. To ensure confidentiality, one need to use all the techniques designed for security like strong password, encryption, authentication and defense against penetration attack. So your first topic is confidentiality. That means only the person who is authorized should have access to your information, and the data should be confidential. So you have to use your encryption techniques, you have to use passwords, etc. to keep your data confidential. Second principle is integrity. Refers to maintaining data and preventing it from modification either accidentally or maliciously. Techniques used for confidentiality may protect data integrity, as a cyber criminal can't change data when they can't get access to it. So integrity means you should prevent your data from modification. That means if an unauthorized person access your data, it should not modify your data. So if your data is confidential, your data cannot be modified. So integrity is you should keep your data such that if an unauthorized person access it, it should not modify your data. Next principle is availability. Availability is another basic element in information security. It is vital to make sure that your data is not accessed by unauthorized person, but only those who have permission can access it. So availability is the next principle, where you should be ensure that your data is being accessed by only the authorized person. That means if you're sending data, A is sending data to B, so only B can access it. No other person can in between access your data. So availability is the availability of information to only authorized person. Let us see what is attack. Network security attacks are unauthorized actions against private, corporate, or governmental ITSs in order to destroy them, modify them, or steal sensitive data. So attack is nothing but the attacker is going to access the unauthorized information and it is going to destroy the data, or it can steal the data, or it can modify the data. So we have two types of network security attacks. First is passive attack and next is active attack. In passive attack, what the attacker will do, it is just going to monitor the detail. It is just going to monitor your detail which is sending between two person, and it is not going to modify any detail. So like if you are sending bank detail to somebody, or if you are sending card details on network, it is going to just see the details and it is going to misuse it later on. That means it is not going to change any detail. And next is active attack. In active attack, the hacker is going to hack the information and it is going to change the information. For example, if A is sending bank detail to B for some transaction, okay, and C in between comes and change the bank detail of A to C. So whatever transaction B is going to do, it will come in C's account, not A's account. Why? Because C have changed the bank detail of A to C. So this type of attack is called as active attack, where the attacker is going to change the detail, or it is going to change the data. This is called active attack. We are going to see each one, that is passive and active attack, in detail. Passive attack is a network attack in which a system is monitored and sometimes scanned for open ports and vulnerabilities. The purpose is solely to gain information about the target and no data is changed on the target. In passive attack, an intruder monitors system for vulnerabilities without interaction through methods like session capture. So we have seen that in passive attack, the attacker is going to just monitor the detail and it is not going to change any detail. Now what are the types of passive attack? There are two types: interception attacks and traffic analysis attack. Interception attack, the phenomena of confidentiality plays an important role in this type of attack. The data or message which is sent by the sender is intercepted by an unauthorized individual, where the message will be changed to different form, or it will be used by the individual for his malicious process. So the confidentiality of the message is lost in this type of attack. It is also known as release of message content. What is interception here? The sender is going to send the data to receiver, but somebody in between, that is a hacker or intruder, is going to read all the messages sent by Bob and Alice. You can see in image, Bob is sending the data to Alice. So this is nothing but the attacker. Okay, that is nothing but the attacker who is reading all the information sent between Alice and Bob. So this type of attack is called as interception attack. Next is traffic analysis. Traffic analysis is the process of intercepting and examining messages in order to deduce information from patterns in communication. It can be performed even when the messages are encrypted and cannot be decrypted. In general, the greater the number of messages observed or even intercepted and stored, the more can be inferred from the traffic. Traffic analysis can be performed in the context of military intelligence or counterintelligence and is a concern in computer security. So what is traffic analysis? Suppose Alice and Bob is communicating. Okay, both are communicating and they are encrypting their data and sending. So if I'm going to read in between the data, I will not recognize what Alice and Bob is communicating. But if I'm going to see the pattern again and again, that means if I'm capturing 20, 30, 40 messages, then after some time I can apply some logic and I can crack the logic between their encryption. So this is nothing but traffic analysis, where I'm capturing many messages in between two people, that means Alice and Bob, and after some time I can recognize the pattern or I can recognize the encryption technique they are using to communicate. So this is nothing but traffic analysis. By using this technique, I can recognize the encrypted message. So this is used in military, where the person communicate in encrypted manner. So military intelligence recognizes this traffic and can come to know what messages they are sending by decrypting the message. Okay. Now next topic is active attack. We have seen active attack. Active attacks are the attacks where the hacker is going to change the data. Correct? An active attack is a network exploit in which a hacker attempts to make changes to data on the target or data en route to the target. The purpose is to gain information about the target and no data is changed. However, passive attacks are often preparatory activities for active attacks. So passive attacks are preparatory. That means we are going to first monitor and then we are going to change the data. Now we have certain types of active attacks. First is masquerade attack, interruption attack, fabrication attack, session replay attack, modification attack, and the last is denial of service attack. Let us see what is masquerade attack. In a masquerade attack, the intruder pretends to be a particular user of a system to gain access or to gain greater privileges than they are authorized for. A masquerade may be attempted through the use of stolen login IDs and passwords, through finding security gaps in programs, or through bypassing the authentication mechanism. So here in masquerade attack, suppose Alice and Bob is communicating, but Darth come in between and it is going to act as Bob is communicating. Though Bob is not communicating with Alice, but Alice feel that Bob is communicating. So these type of attacks happen when the hacker steals the login ID and password, or it finds the gaps between your programs. Like if I can enter into the communication by using this technique, so these are nothing but the gaps in your program. Okay, so here the intruder or the hacker will come in between and it will act as it is an original sender or it is a original receiver. So Alice will not feel that it is not communicating with original Bob. It is going to feel that I am communicating with Bob. But here the third person comes in between and it will act as it is the authorized person. Next topic is interruption. This type of attack is due to the obstruction of any kind during the communication process between one or more systems. So the systems which are used become unusable after this attack by the unauthorized user, which results in the wastage of system. So here Alice and Bob communicating. You can see that Darth come in between and read all the messages sent between Alice and Bob. So that means it is interrupting the message. It is coming in between. Next attack is fabrication. In this type of attack, a fake message is inserted into the network by an unauthorized user as if it is a valid user. This results in the loss of confidentiality, authenticity, and integrity of the message. So here you can see that Alice and Bob is communicating, but in between Darth come and he sends some messages to Alice or Bob. So Alice and Bob feel that this message is coming from authorized user, that is valid user, but actually unauthorized user is sending the message in between. So this is nothing but fabrication. So here we lost the confidentiality. That means the messages are no longer confidential. No authenticity, that means it is not coming from authentic user, and no integrity of messages, that means we are losing the integrity, that means correctness of the messages. Next attack is session replay. In a session replay attack, a hacker steals an authorized user's login information by stealing the session ID. The intruder gains access and the ability to do anything the authorized user can do on the website. So this is nothing but session replay, where the intruder or the hacker will hack the information using the session ID. Here the hacker will hack the user ID and password using the sessions, and it will do anything using the authorization of the user. That means he got the user ID and password, so he can do anything on behalf of user. Next topic is modification attack. In a message modification attack, an intruder alters packet header addresses to direct a message to a different destination or modify the data on a target machine. So what here the hacker will do? Hacker will modify the header of the addresses, that means it is going to modify the address, so the message will not go to correct user or correct receiver, it will go to somebody else, or it is going to change or modify the data of the data which is sending by the authorized user. Denial of service attack. In a denial of service attack, the users are deprived of access to a network or web resources. This is generally accomplished by overwhelming the target with more traffic than it can handle. So what the attacker will do here, suppose a Bob wants to access the server. So the hacker will send many messages to server, and the server is busy to handle the messages came from hacker. So there is so much traffic between the server and Bob. So Bob is not be able to send the message to server, as server is busy in solving or attending the messages sent by the hacker. So this is called denial of service attack, where the server will deny to accept the message from Bob. Why? Because server is busy accepting the messages from hacker, and it is going to solve the messages from hacker only. So Bob will not get any reply from the server. This is nothing but denial of service attack. Next topic is e-commerce security. E-commerce security is the protection of e-commerce assessed from unauthorized access, use, alteration, or destruction. Security is an essential part of any transaction that takes place over the internet. Customer will lose his or her faith in e-business if its security is compromised. So we have to see that the security should not be compromised when we are using e-commerce. E-commerce means whatever transactions or whatever purchasing we are doing online, our security should not be compromised in that. Now there are 6 dimensions of e-commerce security, that is integrity, non-repudiation, authenticity, confidentiality, privacy, and availability. We will see each dimension in detail. First is integrity, ability to ensure that information being displayed on a website or transmitted or received over the internet has not been altered in any way by an unauthorized party. So integrity means correctness of messages. That means whatever information is displayed on website, it is correct, or whatever information or transaction you are transmitting between sender and receiver, it is correct. Next is non-repudiation, ability to ensure that e-commerce participants do not deny or repudiate online action. So suppose I have clicked on order and the participant do not deny that I have ordered this detail. That means once you have ordered, the customer should not deny that I have not clicked this or I have not ordered this. Next is authenticity, ability to identify the identity of a person or entity with whom you are dealing on the internet. So authenticity means you should authentify that you are dealing with the correct person. That means if somebody is ordering on your behalf, that is not authenticated. Okay. Next is confidentiality, ability to ensure that messages and data are available only to those authorized to view them. Confidentiality means suppose you are sending your card detail, you are ordering something, so it should be so much confidential that the only authorized person should see the card detail. Privacy, ability to control use of information a customer provides about himself or herself to merchant. So we are providing our details, our address, our card detail, our phone number. So the merchants should be keep your data so much private that we are providing our details to them. So they should keep it privately. Next is availability, ability to ensure that e-commerce sites continue to function as intended. So e-commerce or e-website should be available whenever we want to access it. So these are nothing but dimensions of e-commerce security. Next topic is steganography. Steganography is the art and science of writing hidden messages in such a way that no one apart from the sender and intended recipient suspects the existence of the message. Steganography works by replacing bits of useless or unused data in regular computer files such as graphics, sound, text, HTML, or even floppy disks with bits of different invisible information. So in simple words, what is steganography? Here the sender is going to send the data to the recipient. So what sender is going to do, suppose you want to send some hidden messages or some secret message to recipient. So he is going to hide the message inside any image or inside any voice message. So he is going to just add some bits into the image or add some bits into the voice message, so only the recipient will understand that some extra message is there inside the image. But if the hacker comes in between, he will not understand that some message is there inside this image. So this is called as steganography, where the sender is going to send the messages or hidden messages inside the image or inside the voice message. This hidden information can be plain text, ciphertext, or even images. So, the information which the sender sends, it can be a plain text, it can be a ciphertext. Ciphertext means the text which we can generate after the encryption. We apply some algorithm on our plain text and then we create the encrypted data, that is called ciphertext. So, if the sender wants if some hacker receive also this data, he should not understand that what message I have inserted into the image. So what he will do, he will encrypt his data and then he will add into the image. In modern steganography, data is first encrypted by the usual means and then inserted using a special algorithm into redundant data that is part of a particular file format such as JPEG image or bitmap image. So what sender will do, sender for more security, sender will encrypt the data and then it is going to send the data to the recipient, so our data will be more secure. Let us see the process of steganography. We have formula as cover media plus hidden data plus stego key equals to stego medium. Let's see each parameter. What is cover media? It is the file in which we will hide the hidden data. Cover media can be image or audio file. So cover media is nothing but the image which we are going to send and in which we are going to hide our message. Next is stego key. Cover media can be encrypted using stego key. So as I have discussed that we can encrypt our data and then we can insert into an image. So stego key is nothing but the encryption we have used on our data. And stego medium is the resultant file is of above process called stego medium. So stego medium is the resultant file which we have generated after the encryption process, after the insertion of our media into the image or into an audio file. Now see the types of steganography. We have text steganography, image steganography and audio steganography. The example of text steganography is, suppose you can see a message which the sender have sent to a receiver. By looking at this message, you will not realize that there is a hidden message. This message will look simple to you, like they have written as since everyone can read, encoding text in neutral sentences is doubtfully effective. But the sender have encoded some message into this. He have used some technique to encode for steganography, like he has used the initial letters as a secret key. Okay, so each initial key the receiver will take and he will get a secret message inside the plain message. So this is just an example. Okay, now the sender can use any technique to send the message in plain text and he is going to encode that message by using any technique. Next is image steganography. Now in image steganography, the sender is going to hide some message in bit format. Okay, but the intruder or the hacker will not understand that in this image the sender is sending some message. Why? Because he have changed some bits of image. He have encoded some message into these bits and the receiver, when receiver will receive this image, he will decode the message using these bits. So the hacker will not understand that the sender have sent some message into the image. So image steganography is very very powerful, where the sender where the sender sends the hidden messages into the image. And next is audio steganography. In audio steganography, the name itself suggests the sender sends some messages into the audio format, where he is going to change some bits. It is a technique used to transmit hidden information by modifying an audio signal in an imperceptible manner. It is the science of hiding some secret text or audio information in a host message. The host message before steganography and stego message after steganography have the same characteristic. So the sender sends some hidden messages into audio form, and only the receiver will understand that this audio message contains some hidden messages. So the audio file before steganography and the audio file after steganography have same characteristics. So the intruder or the hacker will not understand that this audio message contains some information or contains some secret message. So these are the types of steganography, that is text steganography, image steganography and audio steganography. Now what are the advantages of steganography? No one suspects existence of message. So no one knows that this image or this audio or this text contains some secret message, and this is highly secure. Now what is the disadvantage? It requires a lot of overhead to hide a relatively few bits of information. So it requires so much of overhead to hide a small message also. You require a lot of information also, you require proper knowledge to hide this information. So we require a lot of overhead to hide this message. These are the advantages and disadvantages of steganography. Here we end with your chapter. Thank you.